According to a recent report, multiple experts now believe immigration numbers are about to surge. We are about to see more illegal immigrants enter into the United States, and this is going to happen very soon. I want to address why this is, what is happening, and what the United States did to actually impact these numbers negatively. So we're going to see more people enter into the United States very soon because of what the United States decided to do. Now, it's crazy what just happened, but experts believe this is the worst thing that we could have done. Now, I will address that in just a moment. All I ask is one thing, takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. And now, let's begin. So when it comes to this crisis down at the U.S. southern border, which is now impacting not just Texas, but we are now seeing more illegal immigrants enter through New Mexico, through Arizona, and through California. It's turning into a massive crisis. Before, the majority of people entered into the United States through the border at Texas, okay? But because of all the controversy down in Texas, because of what's going on in Eagle Pass, because there's more media in Texas, now people are deciding to go to California, to go through Arizona, and to go through New Mexico. Now, here's the reason why this is such a big deal. Because before, only Texas was being very vocal. Other states, yes, but they were not being vocal like Texas. Now, here's what's going on. There is a plan. There is a bill potentially in place. But Republicans do not agree with what Democrats are doing, and Democrats don't agree with what Republicans are asking for. Just look at this. The top Republican, he's the majority whip, Tom Emmer. He's saying that the House GOP, okay, he's warning them that it's wishful to get everything that you want. And so we need to start with a simple plan. Let's propose that, and then let's see if we can negotiate that against what Democrats want. Well, that's the plan. But here's the issue. Democrats don't really want to work with Republicans anymore. And here's the reason why. If you remember back when we first started discussing the border security bill, there was a reason why we were discussing this. And it's because Republicans wanted to tie something that they really wanted, right? Stricter border policies. They wanted to tie that in with Ukraine funding because that's what Democrats were pushing for. Well, guess what? That's still something that they're planning. However, President Biden appears to have found a workaround to give Ukraine exactly what they need, and he's going to reroute weapons via Greece. I want to explain how this works, okay? Because this was what the security bill was for. Now, Republicans wanted to pass this, but at the same time, they wanted to put pressure on Democrats that, okay, if you want funding and additional weapons to go to Ukraine, that's fine, but we need additional security here at our U.S. southern border. So here's the problem. President Biden found a workaround. Does that mean that Ukraine is perfectly fine? No. Does that mean that Ukraine doesn't need as much funding? Yes, because now they have additional weapons, and it's going to come from Greece. But here's how it works. So the Biden administration has the power to transfer weapons to another country, but can only do so if those weapons are deemed a surplus to the United States. Now, what the United States did, because we sent what we deemed a surplus to Greece, then Greece is not going to send those exact same weapons. They're going to send other weapons to Ukraine. That's how it's going to work. Okay? And we are sending this surplus of weapons to Greece for, I believe, $0. We also have an agreement to send a fleet of 40 F-30 fighter jets to Greece, but that's going to cost $8 billion. So that's something completely different. But here's the thing. President Biden just found a workaround. So what does that mean for the U.S. southern border? Well, it means it's not as a high priority anymore. Yes, it's still something that they're going to discuss, but at the same time, what the Biden administration has been saying is that this is not really a big issue. Yeah, the border isn't safe. It's not 100% safe, but they say that this is not as big of a problem as what Republicans are saying. But here's the issue, okay? We are now seeing a convoy called God's Army. They are now headed to Texas. We're also seeing that there's people in the United States that are fighting, that walk the U.S. southern border on the U.S. side with weapons, and they are hoping to deter people from that area. That could turn into an issue. But just look at this. It says the God's Army convoy traveling to Texas to stop migrants has seen a vehicle get lost, tires slashed, and someone stranded on the highway. So their convoy, it's not going as planned, but I want to show you this. Look at this right here. It says 4 cars had their tires slashed overnight at the hotel where participants of the Take Our Border Back convoy were staying. There have been recent social media posts encouraging folks to egg and disrupt the convoy at its many rallying point locations. Marxists love open borders. Anyway, that's the issue. The issue now is that we are seeing that the Biden administration is okay with the fact that we still have this migrant crisis. Why? Because they just found a workaround to get weapons to Ukraine. That was all what it was done for. Okay? We knew this was going to happen. But something else is happening that is actually going to cause more people to enter into the United States illegally. This is something that we knew was going to take place this year, but according to experts, they didn't know exactly how this was going to impact us. Look at this. It says U.S. CIS significantly raises H-1B visa and immigration fees. Here's what experts are now telling us. Now, we knew these fees were going to increase, but experts are now saying that this is only going to cause more people to enter the United States illegally. Why? Because the fee is now getting closer to the fee that people pay their people down the southern border to get them across. Initially people were paying like $2,000, and this was years ago, where people would pay about $2,000 to get somebody to smuggle them into the United States. Guess what? That number has increased. So the further away from the U.S. southern border you are, the more expensive it is. So if you're coming from like China or something, it's going to be very expensive. But if you're coming from Mexico, and that's where everything's starting, and that's where you kind of get the ball rolling, it's probably going to be about $4,000 to $5,000. But I want to show you this. Okay, look at this right here. These are just some of the fees. Okay, so it says right here, like H-1B petition increased from $460 to $780. L1 petitions rise from $460 to $1,385. O1 petitions increase from $460 to $1,055. Right. An I-485 application to register permanent residence or adjust status, okay, would increase from $1,200 to $1,440. All right. Fees for named beneficiaries for H-2A petitions, okay, for agricultural workers will rise by 137% from $460 up to $1,090. H-2B petitions, this is seasonal non-agricultural workers. The majority would actually be here, but this one would increase by, again, 135% from $460 up to $1,080. This is what experts are concerned with. We are going to see more people enter into the United States illegally because this right here, okay, these fees do not guarantee that you are coming into the United States. These fees, these are non-refundable. And so this is the issue, is there's almost a guarantee that, okay, if you do not make it into the United States, okay, this time, okay, you come back, and that coyote will get you over the border. He will do it the next time. Okay, it's almost a guarantee, because what's happening now is they are guaranteeing you can go back. You give them a call, say, hey, they picked me up, they sent me back. All right, no problem, meet me here, and I will get you back into the United States. That's exactly what's happening. And so now experts are worried that because of these fee increases, we're going to see more people enter into the United States illegally. both from Mexico and from other countries. Now, I do just want to say one thing. Right now, this border security deal that Republicans and Democrats are working on, according to some, they say this deal is dead. This is not going to pass. And here's the reason why. Republicans say even allowing one illegal immigrant enter into the United States and doing this and being okay with it and putting it into law makes absolutely no sense. Why would we agree to a bill that allows 5,000 illegal immigrants to enter into the United States on a daily basis? That is insane. So because of that, Republicans say if this is the bill that Democrats plan on sending us, or the Senate Republicans plan on sending the House, this deal will be dead on arrival. This cannot work. So, just want you to understand what's going on at this time, the issues right now that we are facing. Number one, there's going to be another surge in illegal immigration. We're going to see that very soon. Now, we don't know exactly when. It will likely be over the next 1 to probably 3 months, but it's going to happen. The second thing, we are going to see even more people enter into the United States, not because of the fee, not because of how easy it is to enter, but because they are concerned if former President Donald Trump wins the upcoming presidential election on day one, he will make it almost impossible for people to enter into the United States without papers. So, that's another issue. The third thing, over this entire time period, over this next, potentially, 10 months, 11 months, we are going to see more convoys. We will see more conflicts at the U.S. southern border. This is going to be between U.S. citizens and illegal immigrants. So, the one thing that we cannot have happen is we cannot see a conflict escalate where there's a potential death. That would completely disrupt everything. But that's a concern. So, that's where we're at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise, I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. But that is where we're at this time. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.